Welcome again to a little bit of news announcements for this Saturday. It is Ferndale Fiestas Patrias. It starts at 11 o'clock. And I kind of want to give you a little bit of information. What is Fiestas Patrias? It started out as, and it will always be, a Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th. There are 7 countries that are celebrating independence. And those countries are Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Chile, and Mexico. Keep it in mind, these are somewhat indigenous countries, people that we can now call part of our country. Um, I guess I can say that it pretty well started way back in the time of Columbus, in which he is a man that really abused the indigenous people. And we had Columbus Day for a special day without really understanding his background. But through time in the schools, we thought a celebration of Christopher Columbus. In reality, it was a mistake. This man actually did an injustice to the indigenous people. And I stand as born in Texas. I am a Texan, but I also have indigenous blood. I am an American. I am a decorated Vietnam veteran. But the things that I say are of a truth, and I think it's important for our community to start understanding a little bit about the Hispanics, or should I say the individuals that have a freedom to speak and to tell the true story. It is not always told in the American classrooms. For whatever reason, you can think about that, but in reality, it is not. It should be because our country now, as I speak, is close, if not a Hispanic population, is basically a majority in the United States. You might want to be in denial. That's okay. But you will see that in the graduation of different schools in the county, in Whatcom County, the percentage has gone up like never before. And they are increasing. There's a lot of people that think that Mexicans or immigrants are taking our jobs, taking our money, are stealing. In reality, these are the people that come from the countries which are poor, or maybe there's too much violence in those countries. And they come here to work. They come here to provide food on your tables. I don't care if you're Anglo or whatever, they are workers. Some of them have applied and get an I-10 number, the ability to work. That I-10 number is money that they are paying the U.S. government. They do not get a dime or a penny back for it, unless for some reason or another they become an American citizen. That is the thing about the United States. We bring the undocumented, or we permit them to come in for a while, or they stay here, make a home, pay taxes, use the I-10, in which the government is actually receiving funds. What happens to that money from the I-10 number? What happens when they are paying taxes to this government? And we wonder, oh, yes, they should not come over. They're coming over because they're being persecuted in those countries. They're, they're looking for a home, a place where they have the freedom and the peace that any harm should come upon their children. And I just want you to understand the background of the people, of the indigenous people. At one time, our, our, our natives here were called Indians. Maybe they thought they came from India. I guess I respect my native brothers and sisters. And for that reason, for most of you probably know me. My name is Manuel Reta, and I am a citizen here in Ferndale, Washington. And what I try to do is build bridges. There's things that people have got to acknowledge and to know the truth. I also minister from this little station that we have here every Sunday. I'm not here to deceive anybody. The facts that I say are in black and white. So I'm going to read just a little bit about the Indigenous Peoples Day. And I believe it was made as an absolute during this president, Biden's, if I can find a place. Now it's not letting me read what I want to read. Well, I guess for whatever reason, let me see a second. Let me try something else. If I can get that on there, I'll type it in and see if I can find it. I'm going to go just read what's written here. This is a proclamation of the Indigenous Peoples Day 2021. And this comes from the White House. The White House, you know what it is? This is where some incident happens in which there has been a lot of conflict in our country. This should never have happened. But yet, it is an absolute that our country was violated. But other than that, the people that stood by, they held strong to the law of our country. And that's what we have right now. And we must continue to pray for our government, for those individuals that had the ability and the guts to stand for what is right. The proclamation of Indigenous Peoples Day 2021. Since time, American Indians, Alaskan Natives, Native Hawaiians have built vibrant and diverse cultures, safeguarding land, language, spirit, knowledge, and tradition across the generations. On Indigenous Peoples Day, our nation celebrates the invaluable contributions and resilience of Indigenous people, recognize their inherent sovereignty, and commits to honoring the federal government's trust and treaty obligation to tribal nations. Our country was conceived on a promise of equality, an opportunity for all people, a prize that, despite extraordinary progress we have made through the years, we have never fully lived up to it. That is especially true when it comes to upholding the rights and dignity of the indigenous people who were here long before the colonization of the American began. For generations, federal policies sought out to assimilate and displace native people and eradicate native cultures. Today, we recognize indigenous peoples' resilience and strength, as well as the immeasurable positive impact that they have made on every aspect of American society. We also recommit to supporting a new and bright future of promise and equity for tribal nations. A future grounded in the tribal and respect of the human rights of indigenous people in the Americas and around the world. The contributions that indigenous people have made throughout history in public service, enterprise, scholarships, arts, countless other fields. The indigenous people have served and continue to serve in the United States forces with distinction and honor at one of the highest rates of any group, defending security every day. This point comes out as a veteran. My son, when he was 14 years old in school, he had to make a speech about veterans. Who are the ones that have received the most medals of honors, medals of war of any ethnic group? And this pointed out to the Mexicans or the Hispanics. These have been the individuals that went beyond the call to serve and to die. American medals on, of honor were given to them. If you don't believe it, look into it, Google it, whatever you want. You will find that the indigenous people, the Hispanic people who are indigenous, are the top of the group. But we don't stand up and say we are the only ones. We are here as a country. We are here to defend this country. We're here to stand for what is right. And so today, I speak to you as an American. I speak to you as a veteran. And I speak to you as a time when our country should realize the importance of independence. 7 countries will be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Fiestas Patrias is the other word. At the same time, October is also for the indigenous people, in which we are part of. You say Mexico, indigenous people. There was over more than 90 tribes in that little country at one time. Yes, we are still here. We're still Hispanic. And yet we go to school and our children are embarrassed. They don't feel worthy to speak, or they're told not to speak español en las escuelas, not to speak Spanish in the schools. Why? Why is that? We know that any individual that comes to the United States will learn English if they want to. Our children will learn. But I believe it is very important that they never forget where their grandparents have come from. The grandparents never had nothing, but they worked and they fed the rich, and they were servants, and they did everything to survive and to have a family. Now that family is becoming, or is, a majority in the United States. Yes, we served in the United States Armed Forces with distinction, and honor at one of the highest rates of any group, defending our security every day. The Native Americans have been on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic, working essentially jobs and carrying out throughout our gravest moments. Further, in recognition that the pandemic has harmed indigenous people at an alarming rate, we are surviving. And we're surviving because we don't give up. We are here. And we're here as part of an Indigenous Peoples Day. We are here to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. So I welcome anybody and everyone to our festival this coming Saturday. Come and enjoy and remember and respect the people that come, because those who have actually supported this celebration or this event are people that the Hispanic people will respect. We have different sponsors that have come forward and helped us out. And unfortunately, I do not have the sheet at this moment, but there'll be another day this week in which I will be announcing the individuals that have helped and are helping with this event. Uh, Lamination is an absolute. I went and asked them, would you help us to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month? I went to the council, and there were 7 board members. And 7 board members says, yes, we will support Ferndale Fiestas Patrias. And I, in turn, made a decision. Since I had gone to Stomish Grounds celebration, I had brought with my wife my little dancers. They're known as Chicas Reinas. They have entertained the governor up in Olympia, the legislators in Olympia, dancing during Hispanic Heritage uh, uh, Day. I have brought the Skagit Valley dancing horses to Stomish Grounds. We've had kids go on the horse like a family. I treat Lamination like a family, and I honor them. They have come forward to help me celebrate. To, I should say, they came forward to celebrate as a community growing together. And this is an absolute. We must have more individuals working together, showing our true colors. We're showing these to our children. I had a young man that I talked to today in Pioneer Park. He was like an athlete, a bright young American young man, Anglo. And I told him, my name is Manuel Reta, and I like to build bridges. Bridges of community, bridges in which we can all work together and enjoy and have a good time. My door is open unto you. On this show, on La Voz De Whatcom, I have brought candidates together, Democrat, Republicans, whoever, so that you would know the characters, so you would feel the spirit or where they are coming from. You are the ones who decide who you are going to vote for. That is the reason I bring him here on La Voz De Whatcom. So there will be no mistake or misunderstanding. You heard it here on the radio. I've been as equal as possible as a minister, as a man that wants nothing but a community to work together. Yes, I'm a Latino leader, and I'm reaching out even more on this week. And after this week, I have other things that I will try to do to bring different issues for Ferndale, Linden, Everson, Blaine, Bellingham, especially the schools. The schools have got to recognize there's a need that we all reach out and support our schools as we support our teachers, as we support St. Joseph Hospital and the employees. That is important. If the hospital goes down and you have an emergency, who's going to take care of you? Or your wife? Or your child? Or your father? It is important that we make this an issue and to bring it up and work together with the different agencies so that we don't have any more problems, any more strikes, because it might affect you and your family. And then you'll wonder why. It's something that should be in everybody's mind. And I hope that you understand. Yes, I'm here to promote an event, but I'm also here to let you know that I'm here. I make myself available to talk to you, person to person. Uh, any Vietnam veteran, any veteran who has been in war, whatever it is, I can talk to you too, because you're a brother and a sister. I've been there. You've been there. And we tend to have the same connection, the same vibes to be able to talk eye to eye. The trust that we have is very hard for somebody to break us apart. We've been there. We've seen our brother and sister die in our hands. I've been there. I know what it means to be in war. And I hope and I pray for your loved ones if they are serving our country at this time. I just ask that my prayers will always be out as unspoken, be pleased, because that is the way every Sunday I read God's word, apply to my heart before I utter it unto you. But please keep in mind, this is just one notice that I came on the air today. And I hope you understand that we must, in this community, work together. Let there be no bad feelings. Don't hold grudges. We are here in this community to work together as brothers and sisters. So I do appreciate your time, and I hope you will share a little bit of this message to your friends. Indigenous Peoples Day, October 11th. Hispanic Heritage Month starts the 15th yes, of this month. Our celebration is the 17th. In other words, Hispanic Heritage Month is from September 15th to October 15th. So you have all that time to celebrate. Unfortunately, we have our event coming this Saturday at Pioneer Park in Ferndale, Washington. And I have also another thing that we have done as a Northwest Washington Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which I am the founder of that too. I have asked Skagit Valley vendors to come forward, that there be no fee unless they want to make donations toward the chamber. I want to be able to build a relationship with all chambers, even up in Canada. If there's some Canadian people, individuals that are listening, I'm reaching out. Seattle has already reached out to me for us to be part of their association. They've been trying for over 2 years now. I finally met with them. But I understand the more the merrier. But as long as we're able to be accountable, if we say something, we should follow it. I am a man of my word. In his Northwest Washington Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is the same way. There's a lot of chambers. They got the PP money from the government. The Hispanic chambers, zero. Period. But we're still here. Hopefully there'll be a Facebook or a website within 2 weeks, so you'll understand that we are working on a website in which you will see the different events that we will be trying to do. Things bring a little bit of culture from the South or from our countries to everybody. And I also welcome the Punjabis. The Punjabis, or should I say, the people from India. They are growing in this county. We welcome them into our family to work together. They are working people and very dedicated to their families, to the loved ones. So thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate you would share this message to your friends, and we can go from there. And I know there's some, I should have talked a little bit more en español. Por ese momento les voy a hablar un poquito. Este mensaje es para todos los gente yo digo entre mí, como mexicano, como tejano, digo, yo tengo, siempre le di a mi mamá, que era de Guanajuato, mi papá era de Matamoros para arriba, y yo siempre decía yo tengo sangre de indio, y de verdad, mi abuelita chaparrita, y yo sé que sí tengo sangre de indio, o no de ¿cómo es otra palabra? Disculpe por mis palabras o mi español, porque yo de 6 años me vine aquí al estado de Washington, y ahí se quedó de joven, de 6 años, ahí se me quedó mi lengua, por eso aquí, como quiera seguir con mi papá y mi mamá. Cuando llegaron aquí no hablaban inglés, y cuando entré a la escuela, yo casi no hablaba nada. Yo aprendí, yo estaba siempre oyendo, estudiando en la manera de mi mente, y terminé la escuela y seguí, fue la guerra, vine para atrás, gracias a Dios, y aquí estoy hoy. La cosa que es muy importante, que muchas veces el gobierno se ha aprovechado de la gente que vive aquí en los Estados Unidos, especialmente esos que le llamamos indios. No son indios. Ellos ya estuvieron aquí en este país, como Lamy, por ejemplo. Cuando pasó Juan Pérez, el que anduvo buscando tierra en el tiempo por España, ese hombre trajo muchas cosas a la frontera de Washington, fue hasta Alaska, estuvo en Canadá, trajo caballos, que trajo frijol, trajo muchas cosas en la frontera. Y también trajo gente de México que se casaron con varios aquí en la costa, como sea. Pienso que aquí también con Lamy también. Por eso digo yo que sí hay sangre mexicana entre los tribus que hay aquí en la costa. Y es la primera vez que he invitado yo al tribu de Lami que vinieran aquí a las fiestas patrias. Yo quiero que vengan, están invitados. Y sí me dijeron que sí iban a venir. Por esa razón es muy importante que nuestra comunidad esté más unida con los Lamis, con la gente que está escuchando, porque de verdad no queremos estar como un país donde siempre están peleando. ¿Y qué pasa con nuestros hijos? ¿Qué van a aprender? Yo quiero que los hijos que están en las escuelas que vengan a celebrar las raíces de donde nosotros venimos. Yo vine de Texas. Sus padres, ustedes, vinieron de México, Costa Rica, Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Chile. Aquí estamos. Debemos estudiar. Debemos enseñar a nuestros hijos nuestra cultura. Y ahorita que estamos hablando, voy a necesitar su ayuda. Voy a tener una junta con la mera cabeza de la escuela de Ferndale, la superintendente. Y hablé con el señor de Linden del el periódico. Y me dijo a mí, Manuel, necesito tu ayuda con el periódico. Y pensé yo entre mí, ¿cómo más le puedo ayudar? Y me vino algo a mi mente. Hay estudiantes en la escuela que pueden estudiar para la obra de trabajar como en el periódico en Linden, o que puedan hacer historias entre las escuelas, la escuela de Linden, la escuela de Ferndale, la escuela de Nooksack, las escuelas de Bellingham, las escuelas en Blaine, las escuelas en Baker. Hay estudiantes, hay latinos, latinas, si están interesados en esa clase de obra, de estar aquí en el radio conmigo, de hacer noticias, reportes en español, en inglés, para ponerlo en el periódico, para ponerlo en la Voz de Whatcom. Ese es mi plan. ¿Es posible? Con Dios todo es posible, mi gente. Por eso les pido a ustedes oración, porque sí vamos a hablar, vamos a tomar este tema para ver si hay estudiantes que quieren, pienso yo que les puedan dar créditos también, porque va a ser parte de la comunidad, todo este condado. Es como se plantando unas semillas. Usted que es el padre o la madre, como sea, usted todavía tiene poder de darles buenos consejos a sus niños. Porque usted sabe muy bien también que ya en ese tiempo, en este siglo, muchos de nuestros hijos están muy vivos, muy inteligentes de la mente. Vamos a usar esas cosas para ayudar a ellos. La Cámara del Noroeste de Washington, en que yo comencé, para ustedes, y no para mí. Yo siempre no quiero decir que yo lo hice, no. Dios me da la manera para hacer cosas. Con la cámara, con este evento de las fiestas patrias, quiero juntar fondos para su hijo, su hija, si al caso va a graduar este año, para apoyar a ustedes. Por eso me gustaría que ustedes también, si tienen hijos que pueden ayudar con este evento que va a ser el sábado, o que me llamen o llamen aquí a la Colima. Dicen, pues, tengo 3 muchachos que pueden ayudar, muchachitas que pueden ayudar, de ayudantes, nomás es todo. Nos pueden llamar. Voy a poner el número como quiera, donde me pueden llamar. A ver, voy a poner mi número. Y con mi número es mejor que me manden mejor un text, para que no se me olvide. Para que no se me olvide, se ponen en el text. Usted me puede decir, mi hijo o mi hija, tengo 5 niños o algo así de edad que pueden ayudar con las fiestas patrias. Es todo. Y vamos a tener yo, mi esposa y otros hombres de edad para que nos ayude. ¿Ok? Mi número está, ya está, ya lo voy a poner. Ahí lo tiene usted, ¿ok? Bueno, entonces, a ese número me pueden poner su nombre y me pueden más o menos cuántos pueden ayudar. Es todo. ¿Ok? Bueno, con eso pienso que es suficiente. Y muchas gracias por escuchar y nos vemos otro día. O será mañana, maybe. ¿Ok? Pase buenas noches. Ya es un poquito tarde ya son como las 9, pues sí, ya más es 8:48. Pase buenas noches, señoras. Y gracias, saludos para toda la gente que me está escuchando. Adiós.